Who thinks that's a good idea? Horrible, horrible transition. If y'all have learned nothing from tonight, what would make the most unbeatable arm wrestler world? What are the 2 things that would make a person unbeatable?
Say back pressure and wrist.
A hand that cannot be opened, right? A hand that can't be opened, and a riser that can't be matched. So if you have up pressure that can't be matched, you'll never be hooked. If you have a hand that can't be opened, you'll never be toppled. So it's a lot easier said than done, but that's the 2 things that make you the best arm wrestler on the planet. So make sure your hand is not squeezing strength, it's clamping strength, and then it's protecting your riser with up pressure. Get close on this so y'all can see this. All right, get the highest grip that you like, whatever. So you're not a coverer?
No, I'm happy right here.
Right, see, this is how I grip all the time. Now, how about all these people that want to do all of this stuff? And they want to get like that, and I'm like, dude, you can't get that in a tournament. Why would you practice that?
Why would you practice that?
So I'm gonna get just as high without going high. See how my wrist is right here? You may want to look at it from the other side, honey. So instead of getting my hand and try to do this way, right? All I do is this.
Push it down.
Yeah. There's no possible way.
Show me before and after again.
Just shove my hand down like this. So when I set up, it's just.
Well, see, that's what I call shoving that towards you.
And that's all I do in the strap. When I'm showing you that thing, that's all I'm doing. But if you set up here just like that, so your riser's engaged, right? Your hand's protected. Who here caps?
About everybody.
I do
I
without
don't
the
cap.
strap. I don't with the strap.
I don't with the strap.
I don't cap at all. And I'm gonna show you why. Okay, watch me cap him. You might want to need this on this side, honey. Sorry. I position with what I can get when I cap. Where's my first finger at?
No, I'm touching.
Right? Okay, now watch me not cap.
Touching.
So now I have complete control. Like I can top roll from here, hand down, fingertip, tighten up. If you're hooking, you're gonna cup. If you're top rolling, you're gonna cup. So all I do it doesn't look like I cup because I'm pulling really strong people. You know what I'm saying? So if they're pulling and cupping and I'm pulling and cupping, we're gonna spin out. But the key is cup, right? So on go, you cup, and then you pronate through the hand, right? So come here, young man. All right. So everything that I do, set up, on go, I'm gonna cup, and I'm gonna use my thumb, and I'm gonna pronate through the hand. Just like John. Okay, so y'all just saw, I don't know if y'all saw him playing or John. He's like, it doesn't feel like strength. It feels like you're just putting me in a bad position. So get on it, and I'm just gonna roll out of it. Go ahead. Just pulling through the hand with my thumb. All right, so it's just right here. I just take my thumb and I leverage through it. But I'm cupped and I'm just rolling through the hand, right? Okay, so I see so many people, even Devin, working his cup like this. I have never arm wrestled in my life like that. Have y'all? So why would you practice it? I'm not saying he's wrong. I mean, he's not #1 in North America, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying the guy's wrong, but I'm gonna do everything gripping something. So if I grab a 3-inch rafter, I'm gonna grab it like this and work my cup, right? I'm grabbing everything from a position that I'm gonna have to simulate when I arm wrestle. So my hand's here, I'm gonna close my hand up, I'm gonna cup, and whether I'm hooking or top rolling. But I mean, now so people think top rolling is this. The cup is everything, whether you're hooking or top rolling. This is the first move you do. Cup that I'm doing is just enough. So let's say Dave Chafee, Andre Pushkar, God rest his soul, whatever. I mean, people, Levin, possibly. They're super strong from here to here, right? So what do I have to do if I'm pulling one of those guys? I don't have to get the wrist flattened. I don't have to crack it back. All I have to do is take them. If they're strong from here to here, I just gotta bend my wrist back and get their wrist slightly back. Get your knuckle. Boom. If I get that, they now have access to half their power, and I have access to everything that I use. All pronation, right? So it all comes from the strap too. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to have the stronger cup. You just have to have a strong enough cup to take theirs away. Because it's fingertips to elbow, engage the riser, the knuckle high, cup, pronate through the thumb. All my pronation, get really into that. All my pronation is right through the thumb. So I don't have to go outside. I can still pronate to the thumb. Here, go ahead. Do the pronation through the thumb. 10 years ago, left elbow blew apart. So I couldn't pull anymore because my arm was in one of those things that Paul Italia's got, right? So I had to start pushing and dragging. So I thought, how could I mimic arm wrestling? A mechanic is going to be really good at turning wrenches because they're turning wrenches all day. A carpenter is going to be really good at hammering nails. Maybe not some more anymore because they got nail guns and shit. But back in the day, y'all understand the theory. So if you want to be good at this, wouldn't you just do that every day? So I bought a $2,000 rope pulling machine. I'm not suggesting you do that. But for me, remember the lazy, I want it right next to my bed or right in my gym so I can just hop on that thing and go like this. So I don't grab it with my thumb. Now every other grip I do, I grab my thumb. But with this, I grab here and I pronate. Because I feel like if I grab my thumb, it's put me in a weird position because it's a small, and see, I can't pronate past here or supinate past here. That's why I can't initiate a hook anymore. Because you want to initiate a hook, you want to turn all the way in. I can't turn past here. But if you hit me into a hook, my hook's really strong. But so the rope pulling, I started rope pulling 15 minutes every day at the end of my workout. Why would I do it at the end of my workout? Because I'm already pumped. How many times have you heard someone say, if my hand wouldn't have got pumped, I would have won? Well, then train with your hand pumped. So all my arm wrestling exercises are done once I'm pumped up. Because I want to prepare for the worst case scenario. So that when it happens, I'm comfortable. So if it doesn't happen, I'm like, whoo, this is awesome, you're screwed. My pronation was 100% developed on that rope pulling machine. So what I tell you to do to mimic my, so I'm telling you, it's just like this, right? Because this is natural. This is just natural now. Like Travis said, you get so scared, you immediately jump back to this. Well, all I know is this, because this is all I do. For some reason, it doesn't work on my left arm. But, I mean, this is all I do every day. So if you guys want to do that, go get a tire, set it up on its end, drill a hole through it, go get a 1-inch rope. Don't get 2 inches rope, because I have no one who has a thumb that big. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. You know, but I mean, I will use big spinners because I want it working my cup in my hand. But when I'm grabbing a rope, I don't want a rope that's 2 inches because I will never grip someone who has a 2-inch hand, a 2-inch thumb. So I get a 1-inch rope, tie it off, sling it 20, 30, however long your rope is, set up against your truck or a wall, throw some weight in it, and pull it like this. Just like that. I mean, grab that rope, pull it just like you're top rolling. And if you do that every day, what are you going to be good at? Exactly. That pronation is going to be key. So, I mean, you can be drove into a hook and pronate out. But that strength is what you need for arm wrestling. But all my pronation comes through my thumb. I pull through my thumb. Like, boom, I focus on the thumb and pronate out.
We're from helping you.
Okay. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but it's been like a decade since anyone's hooked me. Like, in a pro match, no one has stopped my pronator. I mean, their wrists will get dumped at some point. So how I do it is riser. Like Dave Chafee may be the strongest arm wrestler in North America or the world. But if y'all saw my match last year, I beat him with riser. The entire match was won because of that high knuckle. Because this is what people, okay, so if you're a really strong guy, you're trying to force someone into your power. That means from a flat wrist or a hooked wrist is where you have access to all your power, right? So if I'm pulling someone that's that strong, what should be my number one objective? Denying that. So how do I deny someone? All I have to do is if they're super strong from here to here, if I can take that knuckle past that wrist, they don't have access to all their power. It's about 50%. Well, I'm very comfortable with my hand like this. So if I spin out and my hand's like this, I still have full access because I'm high pronator and lat, right? So you take a guy who trains everything from here to here, and then you take him back like that. Now they're in an uncomfortable position, and I'm like posing for the camera because I know this shit's over with, right? So, I mean, so he may be stronger than me in 8 out of 10 areas. But if I'm stronger in a couple, riser, pronation, and I make that match stop, I mean, seriously, this is me setting up ask warriors. I'm like, that's how I get a grip. I mean, my knuckles are as hot, and it's always, this is how I set my riser, right? That's it. I just set my riser like that. So People, how do y'all train riser? Okay, so yeah, I never do this. I never do this, ever. I do this, and then I start moving weight from this position. Yeah, I just set my wrist like this, bam, and then I grab whatever resistance, and I pull while my riser's engaged. I will never do this, because I don't want my wrist doing this. So why would I train my wrist doing this? You know, I just bam, and I set my riser. So if you're using bands, don't do this with bands. Do this with bands. Does that make sense? See, now my riser's strong as shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I set it, and then I just do all my movements. Right? So a lot of people are like, oh, well, how much can you do this way? I fucking don't do it. So I couldn't tell you, like 5 pounds maybe. I'm going to do this. How much can y'all hold like that? Because I don't ever do statics. I never do static training because I don't think arm wrestling is a static sport. I feel like we're always moving, right? But with my wrist, bam, this is what I want to get, right? I want to have that, just like Travis said. I want to have that. So why would I not just get that set? Because it's what I want, and then make that son of a bitch strong. That make sense? All right. 10 years ago, when my left elbow blew apart, I used to arm wrestle like this right here. That was it. Like everything that I'm telling you now, I did the exact opposite. That's why I wasn't as good as I am now. So I would shoot for position because the only way I could force a hook would be if I shot towards you and sunk the hook before you could roll my hand. A lot of Americans hook that way. Which one's the better hook? Shooting for a hook or having a really strong wrist and dragging into a hook? That's why the Eastern Europeans are so strong. Watch Rustam Abayev. Watch Zoliev. These little dudes will grab hold of a shit ton of weight, cut, and drag. So they're never having to go center. Arm wrestling's a tug of war. It's a pulling sport. And this is what I do when I arm wrestle. I don't care so much about left to right. I care about hand peg to hand peg center. Because if I can stop the match and our hands are in the center of the table, I'm at the rear of the pad, you're at the rear pad, you will eventually have to make an adjustment, and that's when I'll capitalize. So I don't care about this on go. I care about this to this. As long as I stop the match hand peg to hand peg center, you will eventually have to make an adjustment. And when you do, I'll climb, or I'll press and climb. I'm just gonna, you hit on go, bam. I'm here, you're gonna have to come to me eventually. When you do, your wrist will go. Yeah. So I'm still coming.
Stop that.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
stick it right there.
Yeah, so once you hit from here, as long as the match stops from there to there, like I said, I don't care how close we are, but as long as I stop it and we're both here, you eventually have to make the adjustment and it gives me your wrist.
Yeah, and once I come
And I'm
up,
patient enough to wait. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you mean you're not
not
over
way
Center
over
here.
line,
my side.
center line.
Center line.
Left to right doesn't matter unless you're touching. You know, so my right hand arm wrestling belief or theory or whatever concept, as long as my hand's not touching the pin pad, match just started. Left hand, there's a few spots I don't like to be in. There's not a spot on the table right-handed that I don't feel like I can win from. But it's because I control this. This is a transition to a press. So when people are arm wrestling, how many times have you seen them jump to a press, right? Who thinks that's a good idea? Horrible, horrible transition to press. So get in tight. The transition to press comes from a pec deck. Who knows what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
We all know what a pec deck is, but how does that translate to the table?
Because you can pull your arm in to get behind and roll it under.
You force yourself into position to transition. So I'm here, right? Get on it some. Now, what did I need to do to be able to get my shoulder and have power once I have my shoulder?
It's got to be inside.
Now I'm looking from this position. Be right here. Show me how you transition from where I'm at. Come over here behind me. You're me. How do you get position here?
I would just.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what I do. While he's here, I'm gonna take his hand and I'm gonna push it past his shoulder. Because right now he's protected with his shoulder right now. But if I can get his hand past his shoulder, his bicep is the only thing I have to attack. Get power. Push. So I just push myself into position.
Okay. So you push him sideways.
I took the meat of my hand, forced it into his wrist, on it, pushed past his shoulder, and now his bicep has to hold my arm. Has to hold my whole shoulder, my whole body. But if I do this,
Yeah. I always wait on him to do that. I'm like, yeah, come on, jump on in there.
if y'all have learned nothing from tonight, you pec deck into a transitional press. It's always about that pressure. And so you'll see this. So I'm in a match. I don't know if y'all watch. I'm always looking. I'm always watching, right? So while you're here, I'll bump, right? Like I know if he's here and I try to come in, even if I'm pushing, then he's still protected. So I'm gonna be like, bump, bump. And once I get to here, it's boom. You know, once I see this go past there, I know that's my spot. That's my moment, right? That's my time to attack. But you'll see me jump in before sometime to see if it's viable, and then I'll come right back out. So I'm always moving, right? But the test bump, like when I'm here, boom, you know, I know it's there to go, right? So it's just these little, you know. So I want you to get into position, boom, and I want you to push past, and then pec, no, not with your body, push with your hand, and then transition by pec decking. See, you're giving up center. Did you see what you did?
I don't know.
Yeah. See, you're okay. So let me show you. Okay, imagine it be a tug of war. You're on one side, I'm on the other, and we both have the rope. We're tugging with all of our work. If I ever do this, I just gave up something that I fought so hard to get, right? So the key is not giving up anything. So I'm gonna do it again. Get tight. So I'm gonna force into the pec deck.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm forcing with my pec, like my pec just cramped up just then, right? Because I'm taking this pressure and I'm pushing to get my shoulder behind it. And now I have my tricep and my shoulder to pin you with. I have not yet found a bicep strong enough to stop my press once I've transitioned to it. You know, because what I'm doing is I'm not attacking the whole body. You're here, I take the hand, I push it past the shoulder, I see my opening, I drag in. That makes sense? Cool. What else? You have to push the hand past the shoulder because the bicep can't hold the whole body. If they're here, now they're protected with their shoulder. That's the wrong time to transition, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're just really, really strong. Like if you're really strong, you can take somebody and push them out of their shoulder. But if you can just take, and you'll see, and it doesn't matter if you're stretched out. I mean, Todd Hutchins does a very similar thing. He did that transition. So Todd Hutchins will do this. Boom, you got his hand. He's still fighting with a lot of side pressure. His objective is to push this past and then drag down. So everybody thinks Todd Hutchins is all side pressure. He's side and back. You know, we have a 7-inch elbow pad. WAL, we have a 9-inch elbow pad. So do I want to use 7 inches or do I want to use 14? What is that? Does that make sense? How am I going to use 14 inches?
Drag his elbow across his back.
Nope. Stay right here. Boom. I'm going to drag. I'm at the end of the pad. I'm going to come forward. I'm going to drag again. Right? So, but I'm not giving up anything. Watch when I come forward. Boom. I'm here. I'm dragging back. I still got side pressure. I shove forward. I didn't give up anything. I drag back again. Does that make sense?
You're pushing off your elbow right there, right?
Yes. I'm taking down pressure as I'm shoving forward. I'm not letting you get any weight. There's no place for you to attack because I have so much side pressure. Other things you do in the middle of a match. So let's just say we're here and I'm going to put side pressure on him and he's going to counter a side pressure. So as soon as he counters a side pressure, now I can apply back pressure. So it really is like, it's a thinking man's game. Unless you're Travis, you just, whoop, or what? You know what I'm saying? Because you never see him in a match. I mean, he's either going to smack somebody. There's been a couple times I've been very proud of Travis. But the rest of the time, he either smacks you or he gets smacked, right? But when you're in the middle of a match, if you can apply a pressure and make that guy counter the pressure, then you have an opportunity to use another pressure. Does that make sense? So if we're in a side pressure battle, then I can apply some back pressure. Let's say I apply some back pressure and he counters the back pressure, then I can shoot side pressure again. Does that make sense? So that's the biggest thing for me, and this is gonna sound stupid, but I know y'all have all seen Rambo. Some of y'all might be too young, but Rambo Part 2, right? What you call hell, he calls home. That's been my mentality in training. I want to train way harder than the match is gonna be. I put so much time in the training so that the match part's easy. The hard work is done. I was telling her before I pulled Dave Chafee, 5 months of work for less than 5 minutes of arm wrestling. But it's those 5 months that made me win 3-0, right? So it has to be consistent. I don't know if you guys are doing this just for fun or you have aspirations to be a world champion. But if you want to be good at this sport, just like Travis said, it has to be done daily. People are like, how often do you train your hand and wrist? Every day. You know why? Because abs, calves, and forearms can be trained every day because you use them. You walk every day, so you use your calves. You get up sometimes, so you use your abs. And you do shit with your hands. So you can train your hands, wrists, and forearms every day. Your body's used to it. If y'all pull a big tournament today, when do y'all work out next? Next day? When do y'all work out?
What time do you work?
I don't know. What do you recover? Every single tournament I've ever competed in my life, the very next day I did arms. The very next day I did arms. Because blood heals damaged tissue. Now, it hurts like shit for like the first 3 rounds, right? But you grab some dumbbells, and this is the best exercise you can do for arm wrestling with dumbbells with curls. Whatever weight you can handle, curl 10 reps, crank your wrist in, curl 10 reps in a hammer curl, turn your wrist down, 10 reps in reverse curl, and do multiple sets. Do that 3 times a week. You'll be surprised. Why did I finish with the reverse curl? It's because my hand is blown up, and that weight's trying to peel my fingers open. That make sense? So recover the very next day, you do arms. I compete on Saturday, I do arms on Sunday, I'm back to heavy benching on Monday. Now, if your arms are totally jacked, you fill your sink full of ice, you bury your arm from here to here, you turn on one of Michael Todd's Monster YouTube, and you watch a super cool video. Because the first 5 minutes, you're going to want to kill yourself because it hurts so bad. It goes numb. So just sit there for 50. That was good. That was good stuff right there. You must have been on Travis's channel. So from here to here, 15 minutes, pull it out, dry it off, get whoever you have that cares about you to deeply rub some icy hot or something on your arm. Rub that sucker as hard as you can, wrap it in a towel. 20 minutes later, you have a brand new arm. I'm telling you. Huh? No, you have to have ice in it. It's like an ice bath. No. Because your hot is icy hot. You're going to wrap that sucker in a towel for 20 minutes, and you will be amazed how good your arm feels. I'm too lazy to do it regularly, so I'll put free sleeves on. They don't have the same effect. They're pretty good, but I'm also just putting free sleeves on, and I'm not doing the icy hot after. But if you arms hurt, y'all try this shit. You can call me or message me because I'm not giving you my number.